You have done a lot in a very short amount of time. First of all, that's why young people are the best people to get to do all this stuff. Because when you get older, I can tell you, we don't have the energy for all of that stuff. Like I can't. I have two daughters, and I can't. I can't do all that anymore. That's why
Understood.
kids are for young people.
Understood. Y'all say work now and play later.
That's right. That is right. But wow, how incredible. I am so grateful for I give the credit to God. I for me, it's God who puts those types of
Absolutely.
ideas and gifts inside of people to do things like that it's so timely what you're doing. Like when you look at everything that's happening in education, when you look, like you say, about the graduation rates, and we can see like, okay, we're graduating all these children, but they don't know how to read when they graduate. They don't know how to do math at 12th grade level to prepare them
Right.
for the next phases of life.
Right.
We have that same problem here in Duval County. I question our own superintendent. We have, like they're spouting off. We have a 95, 97% graduation rate, and they're like clapping and hooping and hollering. And I'm like, okay, but who are you graduating? Because I'm looking at the test scores, and these kids cannot read
Yep.
or do math, or the science was a little bit better, but it was well under like where these kids need to be, a vast majority
Yeah.
of these kids. So it's like they're just checking boxes, they're
Exactly.
passing kids along. I have a friend whose son, and I saw this for myself, he got 400 participation points in math.
Hmm.
That's how he was able to go on to the next grade, because the teacher just gave him 400 participation points. If he wouldn't have gotten that, he would have rightfully failed, which he should have, because he
Right.
did not know the material.
Yeah.
And
That's
400 participation points, I mean, but this is what it's like. They don't care anymore if the kid knows what they need to know to be able to do well on the next level. They're just checking off boxes.
right.
And so thank God for people like you, for people who are calling attention to this and saying, wait a minute, we can't pass on. What kind of generation are we raising?
Yep. Absolutely.
What kind of generation are we raising where we're going to just pass kids along? And what that does psychologically is tell the kids, I don't even have to try. It doesn't build
Exactly.
in them a mindset of, I have to make sure that I know this, or I have to push
Mhm.
through. I have to. It removes like consequences. Do you know
Yep.
what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
if they don't think that there will be a consequence for their actions or inactions,
Mhm.
what's going to stop them from? They're not going to try, because they'll be like, oh,
Exactly.
okay, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'll just be pushed on to the next. And then
Yep.
when someone does push back, it'll
Mhm.
be like a shock.
Yep.
They
They're
won't
not
even know
equipped.
what to do, because
They're not
nobody
equipped.
has ever challenged them. And then many times they will blame it on something. Oh, it's because I'm a woman. Kamala Harris is doing that right now. Oh, y'all are criticizing me because I'm a woman, because I'm a black. It's like, no, ma'am. It's because you're incompetent.
Yep.
I mean, regardless of your
Absolutely.
political leanings, it really doesn't matter. But incompetence is incompetence, and
Yep.
everyone can see it. But
Hmm.
anyway, so I wanted to talk about, so you know how to cook,
Hmm.
you basically are like a mechanic. You like, where'd you learn that skill?
Well, I always say I was raised by a tribe of men, and I give a lot of them, well, just about all of them, the credit for who I am today. My uncles, my grandfathers, my former stepdad, my current stepdad, the guy that stayed down the street, the guy that stayed across the street. Everybody, in our neighborhood, was a tight knit community. So my former stepdad taught me how to build everything. The first thing he taught me the first day I met him was how to plant some watermelons. Literally, I remember it vividly. That's the
Wow.
first thing he ever taught me. And then after that, we used to build all of our own sheds in the backyard, like for tools and stuff. We built
Yeah.
everything from the ground. He taught me how to do plumbing. I remember one time we actually changed. We moved our washroom outside. We built the shed for our washroom. We moved it
Yeah.
outside and we changed the washroom into a bedroom. But we ran the pipes from the house. under the ground all the way to the shed, put electricity in there, all of that, on our own. No, we didn't have to call
Wow.
nobody, didn't have to do anything, but he taught us
Wow.
how to do all those things. Everything that we ate at home, we picked from outside. We wanted something to eat, we went and picked it.
Yeah.
And this was all in a neighborhood, like just a regular black neighborhood. We only had an acre of land, but we did all that. We grew our own seasonings. We had all these fruit trees and
Wow. You
everything.
grew your own oh, like herbs. So you grew your own like herbs and stuff, like
Yep. Mhm.
oregano and
Yeah, we grew everything. We had banana trees, tangerine trees, lemon trees, peach trees, plum trees. We had everything, fig tree. So that's how I grew up. The guy down the street from us, he was on crack, but he taught all the boys in the neighborhood how to build brick mailboxes. So he taught us how to
hey,
lay. Yep, he taught us
let
how
me
to lay
tell you
bricks.
something.
Yep.
I used to own property down in Miami. Let me tell you, some crackheads. I mean,
There'll
not
be
to
some
be
work.
all crass, but you can get some good quality work for a great price.
Very, very good quality work. He'll build you a brick mailbox for $50. You
Hello.
know, all you had to do was go get the cement and the bricks, and he taught us how to do it. So every mailbox in that neighborhood is brick. He taught us all how to do it.
Yeah.
We closed in our garage, with bricks. He taught us how to do all those things. The older guy that stayed behind me, he was a deacon at a church. We call him Deacon Bogan. And he taught us how to cut grass. The guy across the street from us, he was the granddad of that family across the street.
Yeah.
But he used to drive trucks. We had this guy down the street from us. Everybody in the neighborhood usually have a candy lady, but we had a candy man. We called him Pie Man. So we used to go down there and
Yeah.
buy like pies and stuff. But all these men taught me
Oh,
everything. My former stepdad taught me how to paint cars. He taught me how to work on cars, painting, fixing stuff in the house. I can build a house from the ground. So a lot of these
wow.
things, I learned just from men teaching me, and of course, fine tuning it with YouTube.
Of
So
course. Right, right. YouTube University. Absolutely.
absolutely,
Listening to you talk about this, it stresses the point of fathers,
hmm
and how important men are. Just men,
yep,
even if you're not a father, just a man is irreplaceable. You cannot
yep,
replace a man.
absolutely,
You cannot, you can't subsidize that. You know what I mean? There is something that God gives men in particular that he does not give women.
yep,
And it's it gives, in my strong opinion, it gives the firm foundation of a successful family, of a
right,
successful society, of a successful community. And listening to all of these men who were so instrumental in your life, and looking at that and listening to what you're doing today, you cannot deny that
yep,
men played a strong, and I'm sure your mother is fantastic.
absolutely.
I'm sure she is, because
Grandmother too.
she raised you, because it takes both.
Yep.
But she couldn't. I'm a woman, I'm a single parent, which I don't, I don't want to be a single parent.
hmm
But there are some things, even to girls, that a father will give that a mother just cannot do.
Yep, and
And
vice versa.
right, absolutely. It doesn't take away from, me being a woman or anything like that. It's just,
Right.
it's that added necessity that
hmm
men bring to families and communities and then later societies. So, gosh, thank you to all the men who were so instrumental in your life. And then you're carrying that on. And I mean, that's how it goes, though.
Yep.
That's why men are so necessary,
hmm
and families are so necessary, because you had that, and then now
Yep.
you're taking that and you're giving it to all of these other young men who may or may not have fathers of their own,
Right.
who can give that to them, and then they're going to pass that on to their children. So my god, like, the impact that you're having on the next generation is incredible. Like, do you think about that? Do you think about how, like, the legacy that you're leaving when you're doing all of this?
Yeah, that's my main reasoning for doing it. I have two sons of my own, two biological sons, and
Mhm.
my biggest thing is wanting to, create a pathway for them where they don't have to do as much work as I had to do. I want it to be a chain of less work for my family. But of course, the children that I come into contact with now, whom may see me as a father or a big brother, I have to lay away for them too. I call it creating their promised land. So when I leave here, I may not be there to get there with you, but I want to make sure you guys get there, and that's what
Mm.
I want to see. My dream is to see the city of Albany, thrive.
Yeah.
That's what I see happen. And of course, make that a blueprint for other cities across the nation.